Hello and welcome everybody to the much requested Hyrule Warriors E3 2014 gameplay preview. Right away you can see the main draw to this game. That is 9 separate character slots in a Zelda game. Now typically you don't get to play as anybody but Link in a Zelda game, maybe a few other foreign races if you got some masks in Majora's Mask, but aside from that, being able to play as this many confirmed characters has a lot of longtime fans very excited. For those of you guys wondering what Hyrule Warriors is all about, it is essentially a spin-off of Legend of Zelda and a spin-off of Dynasty Warriors, which is a popular Japanese series. I'm a huge fan of it myself, but the whole thing behind Dynasty Warriors is fighting huge hordes of enemies at a time with ridiculous combo attacks and huge finishers, and that's what we're going to do right away. This is our first time we're ever able to play as Zelda outside of a Super Smash Bros. Game where it's a collaboration, but have you ever been able to play Zelda in her own single-player adventure? No, we're not going to look at that one. Here, though, Zelda's got armor, she's got a rapier, so she's not just sitting on the sidelines shooting magic attacks or using a bow. She's going all out, frontal assault, shots, magic, all kinds of close-range, long-range combos, and it's very, very neat. So right away, you can see a few things carrying over from the Zelda universe into the Dynasty Warriors one. You've got pots, you've got rupees, you've got bokoblins, is that how you pronounce that? I always call them boblins, just for short, since they're just, they're little moblins. All I know is they are exploding into money, and these attacks are so cool. This is a very colorful game. It definitely looks great in HD on the Wii U, and I could not be happier to have these two franchises combined. Now I know a few people are going to be a little hesitant to this because it is not a canonized Zelda title. There's no way I think you can have Zelda wielding a sword, just being a complete boss, destroying Ganon's entire army, or it may not even be Ganon's. We have no Ganon confirmation. We have new enemies so far. Like Wizro, I believe, was one of their names. But you can't just have Zelda tearing up an army and then also being kidnapped in the same universe. It's kind of weird how Zelda's like that. Like, she has had some strong characters. You look at people like Tetra, or even when Zelda transformed into Sheik. But in both of those games, as soon as she goes into princess mode, she gets captured and becomes useless. Makes no sense. So the combat is fairly simple. You've got a handful of different attack buttons, and the idea is just to string them together to form different kinds of combos against these huge crowds, and then there are some other combos that seem more specialized towards individual enemies. So you're trying to basically utilize both attacks as well as you can, and just destroy stuff. It's not a very deep or complex game, although I do like that they're adding certain elements from the Legend of Zelda series. For example, how weird is this to look at someone who isn't Link opening up a treasure chest? Pretty cool. So we got ourselves some bombs. So this game allows you to combine different types of items with your regularly equipped item and attack. So here with the bombs, oh, all of a sudden there are boulders in our way. They picked the worst possible time to think that would trap me in. Also, check out this strategy. What if I didn't have bombs? They just put hundreds of their own guys locked in with me. Now that's a noble sacrifice. A failure of a sacrifice, but you do have to respect their gumption. So right away, this game is very smooth. If you've played Dynasty Warriors before, it feels just like it. And so that's going to be pretty much the ultimate selling point, I think, in whether or not you're going to enjoy this game. Either that, or maybe you just love Legend of Zelda that much that you want to play some of these new characters that you've never been able to be before. I was kind of sad there was no available Midna in the demo. Really wanted to try out Midna and her ridiculous magic arm attacks with that, I don't know really what to call it. It's like dark magic that just extends from her body. Very, very cool. So we saved the Hylian captain, and we found ourselves another mini-boss. More familiar faces, that is what it's all about. And special attack, she freezes you with light, shoots you with the light arrow, and sends you flying. It's pretty beautiful. There's a 30-hit KO. Zelda also has a unique mechanic in this game. When you press X, you fill those little orbs in the top left, and by storing orbs, you can do different kinds of light attacks added to your combo. So every time you see a beam of light firing out of me in one way or another, it means I've probably used one of those orbs, and it's probably a good thing. So we've recovered magic here. Unfortunately, I was not able to fill up my meter. You can get a special technique called Focus Spirit if you fill magic all the way. It's not like Zelda where it's this expendable meter. It's a Dynasty Warriors mechanic. So I can't use Focus Spirit. I haven't filled my magic all the way. But what I believe it does is enhance a lot of your different attacks. So a lot of these stages, they function in a way where you're constantly doing different kinds of missions. Sometimes you'll have more than one thing you have to do. You might have to defend a certain land, while also scoping out and trying to take out different commanders, things like that. So it can get a little hectic. As you guys can see, there are hundreds of units, both positive and negative, everywhere, alongside different generals, mini-bosses, mega-bosses. And so the idea is to contain the chaos and just spill through the enemy forces. It's satisfying in a way that little other franchises can really give you. Now, I love action games, things like Devil May Cry and even Bayonetta 2, which we'll get to soon. I was able to play that. But this is a little different. It's less focusing on like tight dodge gameplay and more just trying to find the optimal way to weave through an impossible amount of forces. So here, they're trying to explain how the capture mechanic works. You basically have to eliminate the enemy's captains, as they're like pulling the force away from you a little faster. So, by destroying the keep boss, we can take back this portion of our land. And it was not hard. So from here, I believe we're almost getting to the point of the boss of this demo. And he is a familiar face. That's right, it is King Dodongo. And what item do we get in this demo? Bombs. I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos. So, it says King Dodongo has appeared in the North Square. So right away, I gotta find the blip on my map, track him down, and it's boss time. So right away it'll say he's advancing toward Hyrule Castle. The idea is to try and defeat the boss as quickly as possible so that the enemy forces don't capture several different lands. That said, he's a giant lizard dragon thing that can roll at whim, breathe fire, and make your day all around horrible. But for anybody who has played, well, several Legend of Zelda games, the one that comes to my mind is Ocarina of Time. When he opens his mouth, he does not like bombs in it. In fact, if King Dodongo never opened his mouth, we would probably never have a way to defeat him. So it's just pride at that point. I guess if you can breathe fire, why wouldn't you open your mouth to expel it onto your enemies? That being said, there is a long period where he doesn't open his mouth, and so you don't really have an option. You can whack away at his armor, but it's pretty bad. So I'm trying to stay close, you know, because I want to get that small window where his mouth is open. Oh, I guess that's not the correct way to open it. So I'm actually getting rocked here. So he finally does stun, and then you'll see a little wheel that we're chipping away at each time he's knocked down. As you sort of fill up that meter, you can do what's called a break attack. It's a very powerful attack that is great against certain types of bosses, like this one. And Dodongo's off. Central Keep has fallen to the dark forces. That never makes me feel good. So as you guys can see, I'm just barely chipping away at his health. I'm trying to here. Not really worthwhile. I was able to use a potion, so at least I won't die in the demo and look terrible. But we can bomb Dodongo once more. And from here, you can see, Westfield Keep is about to fall. He continues to press forward until you lose completely, but we got off the break attack, which, as you guys can see, does an incredible amount of damage. Light arrow right into the stomach. Mission successful. Purple rupees. Everyone's a winner, except for the Dark Forces. They're just kind of staring around. They're like, so what now? I'm sure most of you guys are Legend of Zelda fans that have maybe never played Dynasty Warriors before. What I might do is check out a past Dynasty Warriors game. They're probably dirt cheap, like $5 to $10 at this point for some of the older ones. And if you like that gameplay, you'll probably really like Hyrule Warriors. If you don't, you can probably stand to skip it unless you absolutely have to play as the new characters. There are still several more character slots for them to announce. I can't wait to see who else is in store for this game. But as always, I want to thank you guys for watching. You can click that button right there to subscribe to my channel and get alerts when my new videos come out. And there will be more E3 2014 content coming soon.